Hello and welcome back in this rainy morning here. I received a cool comment and a cool requested video by Mr. SideWayz Moose. He wanted the 255 Windsor V8, and yes, we have to go back in the late 70s, early 80s, so we can make this kind of engines. In this era, when SMOG was released to the world, and a lot of V8s lost their passion for power and torque. It is so they can achieve the highest number in fuel efficiency and fuel economy. Some would say that this era was good because a lot of engines became efficient, but car enthusiasts and engine enthusiasts will say that this was a stupid era and a lot of engines became boring, and they lost their passion, they lost their golden age of power and guzzling fuel. Alright, so to make this engine, actually there is not a lot of information of it on the internet, but there is some on Wikipedia, but it's not really accurate, or it's not really easy to make. I'm sure that they are accurate, but it's not easy to make because apparently everyone hated this engine on the internet. A lot of them, when they find this engine in the junkyard, they will tell you that to run away, don't buy this car, or just take it out and throw it in the trash. So let's begin with the specs for it, because I found the correct specs for it in some websites, including Wikipedia, hotrod.com, and a lot of places that I'm not really sure what to call them, but I'm gonna call them car websites. Alright, so let's begin. It's a 90 degrees 8-cylinder engine made in the late 70s, 1978, as you can see. Actually, the idea of the 255 Windsor was in a cafe. A bunch of engineers met in a cafe. So because they want to come up with a quick engine, a quick replacement for the 302, because they don't want to use the V6 because it's not ready yet, and they had to make a quick engine so they can replace the gas guzzling 302, and they made this one, the 255. They took a normal 302 and they just made it a little bit smaller and more fuel efficient, and apparently it worked until, of course, the new V6 was ready to be put to production. Alright, so let's begin. It's a 90 degrees V8 engine with cast iron block, 93.5 millimeters and 76.2 millimeters on the stroke, which equals 4,186 cc, or you can say it 4.2 liter, or in cubic inch 255 cubic inch. It's a push rods, 2 valves per cylinder, cast iron head, cast internals, normal cast, nothing special, 8.8 to 1 low compression ratio, 18 on the cam profile, 0 quality on the camshaft and valve train, naturally aspirated. Yes, as you can see, we have switched to the 1980s. I'm gonna explain why in a minute. We are using a 2-barrel single carburetor with standard intake manifold and standard intake system and intake tuning as well. The reason why I've chosen the 1980s because I wanted the premium 95 octane. I know this engine was in real life supposed to run on 87 octane, but unfortunately on automation here, so I can achieve the real power and the real torque of the real engine, I needed 95 octane fuel. And the reason that I could have just kept it 1978 and chosen the 98 octane leaded fuel, but leaded was cancelled in the late 70s, early 80s. Yes, that's why I've chosen the 1980s and chosen the premium 95 octane fuel. I mean, in the 80s this engine was still in production, so we are okay. I did not do anything wrong here, but the fuel is a little bit wrong choice because of automation and how it works. Moving on, I'm using 14.1 is the air fuel ratio. As you can see, the air fuel ratio is a little bit lean here because I want to make it as fuel efficient as the real one. Ignition timing is 39, 5000 is the RPM limit with +5 quality on the fuel system. Short cast dual exhaust with 1.5 inch exhaust diameter or exhaust pipe. I'm not really sure if it was made in a single exhaust shape or a dual exhaust one. So I've chosen dual. 3-way Kerala converter, so I can make it efficient. Reverse flow mufflers, reverse flow on the second one, so we have quad mufflers, +5 on the exhaust system. And this is the final result: 120 horsepower and 213 pound-feet of torque. I know that 120 horsepower for a 4.2 liter V8 is very lame, but this was an era of fuel efficiency, not power. I mean, if we can go back to the 70s, late 60s, this was the muscle era. But now, in the 80s, as you can see, no, this is an era of fuel efficiency, fuel economy. Alright, as you can see, the engine has acceptable reliability for it. In the early 80s, it has good fuel economy to it. I'm using nearly all the octane. It's smooth. No, it's not responsive at all, because this is a regular smog killed engine. What I mean by smog is the rules and regulations for the fuel efficiency and emissions. As you can see, with catalytic converters, and the emissions are still high even with unleaded fuel and catalytic converters, but apparently using a 2-barrel carburetors and the 80s technology is not really efficient in the emission section, but it's okay. The engine is very quiet, so it's like the real one. So the request engine, or the requested video, was to make the original engine and then try to make it better and to make it a high performance one. But before we start to bolt on some high performance parts to it, let's fire up this smog killed bad boy here. As you can hear, it sounds quiet and efficient, not sporty at all. As you can hear, it sounds pretty much normal. Now let's save the stock variant for it. Go back and make a clone of it, so you can start to bolt on speed parts. Clone variant, as you can see, it goes stock clone. Now let's start from the beginning. As you can see, these are locked, the same size, the same bore and stroke, the same materials, the same valve terrain, but we can change everything else here. I'm not gonna change the internals yet, because as you can see, it can go all the way to 7,000 RPM with the stock zero quality, everything normal. Now what should we do here so we can make more power is, of course, change the fuel system, the camshaft, the exhaust, and I mean, if everything is not enough, we can change the internals. As you can see, we are using a single dual 2-barrel carburetor. Now let's see if we can find, I'm not really sure, because I have read some comments on the internet that the intake manifolds for the 255 are very rare and not much you can do about it. I'm not really sure if it's in the US if it's true or not, but I'm gonna say let's try and put a twin carburetor setup and see what kind of difference we'll make here. As you can see, bolting on another 2-barrel carburetor, as you can see, made it more efficient, and now we have a little bit of headroom to put more ignition and a better camshaft. And now the engine is responsive. As you can see, putting another one is actually a great idea. Now let's try and put the third one. The third one made a lot of difference, more fuel efficiency, a lot more fuel, like double the throttle response, and now we have a little bit of headroom, 128 horsepower just from bolting on extra 2 carburetors. Amazing. I'm not gonna choose 4-barrel yet. Let's try and keep it normal. As you can see, the same intake manifold, but now with 3 carburetors and No, it's because no, you have to change the intake manifold anyway. So let's choose performance, as you can see. Okay, let's try and put more fuel in, just a little bit. 13.8. Increase the ignition timing. Let's see where we can go. No, this is enough for it. 60. And now let's start unpumping the camshaft itself. As you can see, putting an aggressive camshaft will kill the low end torque here, but it will make the engine much more powerful. And let's see how big we can go. Oh, look at the torque dropping. So let's see how high with the horsepower we can go. I'm gonna keep it with 200 feet of torque and 166 horsepower at 5,000 RPM. Okay, let's increase the RPM. No, not a great idea. Increase the exhaust size. Okay, 2.5 inch exhaust pipe. That's great. And let's put a better headers on the engine. Remove the second muffler. No, not a great idea. We should put straight through muffler. Yes, straight through muffler on the second one. As you can see, now we have 200 horsepower. I know that the fuel efficiency has dropped significantly, but I'm not gonna go and increase the compression ratio, because increasing the compression ratio means a different internals, but not yet, not now. Let's see, longitudinal. Okay, this is a better choice. Now let's fire it up. Oh, look at the difference in sound. Alright, yes. It sounds much better now. Okay, now let's begin and do some crazy stuff here. Let's see if we can switch to 4-barrel. I'm gonna choose single. Alright, so as you can see, the triple carburetors with on the two-barrel carburetor family, they can support all the way to 350 horsepower. Okay, and a single 4-barrel one can support 233 horsepower. Amazing. The second one. Alright, now this is much better. Putting dual 4-barrel carburetors, but this is extremely overkill, right? Let's stick with a single one. A single 4-barrel carburetor will make much difference. Much difference. Now let's see if we can more ignition in. Okay. .2 inch made. No, let's stick with let me put twin, because twin made more horsepower. Okay. Alright, so I think everything is maxed out now. let me put better internals and higher compression ratio. But for now, let's stick with the stock internals. I'm gonna put a higher compression. Alright, let's see what kind of results we get. 215 horsepower on zero quality here. Alright, so everything now is on 0 quality. Let me push the quality a little bit. Let's see if you want to spend actually a good amount of money on a good, very good camshaft that will bump the power all the way to 238. You can push the RPM more right now to 5,800. Okay. Let's see now the exhaust system. Yes, let's stick with it a little bit. Right, if you want to remove the mufflers with 1.8 inch, really? No, let's keep. No, because no one removes all the mufflers, because this is not a racing engine. We have to keep at least one muffler. Okay, so as you can see, I'm using only on two twin straight mufflers on the first mufflers. All right, that will make it loud. Let me explain something. Moving the camshaft profile means not only the camshaft itself, but I think when what I always explain to everyone that will watch my videos, this is the camshaft itself, and for the quality, I think this is the cylinder heads. This is what I assigned the quality, you know, the quality slide here. This is what I assigned it to, because you can put a better camshaft in any cylinder heads, but the cylinder heads themselves actually they will kill horsepower at the end because of low air, because of the lacking of airflow. Every cylinder head can restrict airflow, even if you put a very aggressive camshaft in the engine. So everything has its own limits. As you can see, I've increased it to +10 quality, and that made a lot of difference because better cylinder heads, better camshaft. We'll see if I can put even a better one. I mean, yes, you will lose a little bit of torque, but you will gain a lot of horsepower. 262. Okay. Ignition now is not really good for the engine. Let's see, 6,000 RPM. Let me put the best cylinder head available for this kind of engine. As you can see, +15 quality here. I cannot go any aggressive because the engine will start to lose power, so 73 is the optimum one. More compression ratio, maybe 9.0 to 1, 280 horsepower. Let's see if the exhaust can do a little bit of tweaking. Yes, a 2.2 inch on each exhaust pipe. 6,200, 6,300 RPM. This is much better now. We are using nearly all the available octane. Okay. $284 horsepower. Okay. 6,500 RPM. I know that there is a little bit of drop at the end, so 6,400. believe that this is the same 255 cubic inch Windsor V8. We started in life with 120 horsepower and now 284 horsepower. What a more than double in the horsepower. Absolutely crazy. Let's see if we can push it a little bit more. Okay, that's better. 75. No more compression ratio. Let's see if you want to go crazy and push more fuel in, you can. Of course you can. Let's see how much we can push the fuel in, ignoring the fuel economy. Okay, so we can push it all the way to 13.0. No more camshaft. This is 74 is good. 9.4 to 1. I want to reach for 300 horsepower, but I'm not really sure if we can do it. Removing all them. I mean, if you want, let's see. Yes, as you can see, bolting on a higher quality exhaust system and headers will do all the difference. Yes, let's keep a single muffler so we can make it acceptably quiet. Yes, perfectly right now. 306 horsepower. More than 1 horsepower per cubic inch. More than 1 horsepower per cubic inch. This is much more efficient in my mind. I know that the fuel economy or the fuel efficiency has dropped. I know that, but now you have 300 horsepower. I mean, absolutely brutal. Let's see, if you want to make this engine a racing engine, you can put a racing manifold on it, remove all the air filters, as you can see, putting on a racing headers, 317 horsepower, removing all the mufflers, 2-inch exhaust pipe. Let's see, plus 15 on the fuel system. I know that this is crazy, but I want to go max here. I want to go fully on to the max and see what kind of results we will get. 6,400. No, still start to lose horsepower. 9.5 to 1, 9.6, 9.7, 9.8. Okay, 9.8 to 1 is the compression ratio now. 323 horsepower, 200 horsepower more from the original engine. And if you're wondering how does it sound, absolutely amazing. I mean, the sound of open headers, or actually yes, open headers, straight pipe, absolutely amazing. I know that there is a kind of converters on both sides, but still it's like it's a straight pipe, and I'm really happy with the end result. And let's see if we can remove the parallel converters. 330 or 332 with 1.inch exhaust diameter on each exhaust pipe. Wow. 210 extra horsepower from the original horsepower from this engine. What did we do? Let's sum up. We used the same internals, but of course we changed the pistons for a higher compression pistons from 8.1 to 1 to 9.8 to 1. This is a big or a huge difference in compression ratio. We have put a much more aggressive high performance camshaft, of course with plus 15 quality, so it's the best camshaft on the market. Moving on, we have removed the single dual barrel carburetor, and we have replaced it with twin 4-barrel carburetors with racing intake manifold and racing intake system. Actually, there is no racing intake system, only the intake manifold, and we have removed the air filters and put on these air scoops. We are using the same 95 octane like the original engine. I mean, like the original engine in automation, not in the real life. The real life was 87 octane, but we had to use 95 here. I'm using 13.0 is the RP ratio, which is fully on max for this kind of for these carburetors. I'm pushing them to the limit. Because I pushed a little bit more fuel in, like 12.9, I will actually start to lose power. The ignition timing has increased to 75. The RPM has increased from 5000 RPM to 6400, plus 15 quality on the fuel system, and of course the exhaust system is fully on change to the max. Racing tubular headers, still dual exhaust to a 1.inch exhaust diameter, and no restriction whatsoever with plus 15 quality. And the difference is 200 extra 211 horsepower from the original 120 horsepower engine. And of course the torque is much more than the original engine. It's like extra 80 pound-feet of torque. The engine is still reliable because of course plus 15 quality parts. The emissions are high because we have removed the catalytic converters. The fuel economy has dropped from 15% to 12.9%, so a little bit different here. The engine is still not so much smooth, but 54 points is acceptable for a racing engine. It's much more responsiveness now. It's very noisy, of course, because it's a racing engine, and it's still heavy, 200 kilograms. Okay, so 331 horsepower from a 255 cubic inch Windsor V8. So it has been a very great request. I'm really happy with the end result. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm really happy with the end result. So if you enjoyed the video, push that like button, get subscribed if you are new to my channel, and of course watch all my previous videos because they are absolutely amazing and you will be absolutely amazed with them. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and thank you so much, Mr. SideWayz Moose, for your cool request. And I'm really happy that I saw your dad's Mustang, your dad's classic Mustang. I'm really happy that I saw it. It's a very cool car, and I wish you and your dad the best. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I will see you very soon with a better videos and more cool videos like this one and even more. And of course, goodbye, my friends.